Teresa Davenport, Senior Research Associate with Mayer & Mayer. As we've begun 2009, we find ourselves with massive changes to our economy and thus to our workforce. People are out of work and unemployment offices are overwhelmed. Many of those looking for jobs have not had to do so for a very long time, perhaps never. Many of those are highly skilled and highly educated. Some have been working at one job for most of their working lives, and now they cannot find work in a similar occupation, which brings us to the focus of our conversation today. What can we in workforce development world do to equip people to find new jobs in their region, and how can ONET help? To help us explore our options, I have with me today Hope Clark. Hope is the Director of Research and Market Development for the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. She oversees the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics federal state cooperative programs, as well as the U.S. Department of Labor, Employment and Training Administration's Workforce Information Core Products Grant Program. In addition to administering the state's labor market information programs, she is also responsible for the state's Strategic Skills Initiative, Work Keys Assessment Programs, Workforce Literacy Programs, Major Opportunities Minor Pre-Apprenticeship Programs, and Training Acceleration Grants for incumbent workers. Hope, I just can't help but think that it's very timely that President Obama was just in Elk Park, Indiana, to speak to the people of this region, where they're experiencing 15% unemployment right now due to the declining RV industry. Can you speak to that situation and how ONET is being utilized, or should I say mobilized, to help?
Yes, Teresa. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about how we're using ONET to develop workforce transition strategies for the northern Indiana area, where we have a large concentration of RV manufacturing employers that have been impacted by the declining economy and have laid off thousands of workers in the Elkhart area. We are using ONET extensively to analyze the transferability of abilities, skills, and knowledge of workers in declining occupations, particularly in the manufacturing industry, to growth occupations and develop workforce transition strategies for those dislocated workers. We are challenged with developing a business plan to serve those workers affected by the downturn in the economy. By analyzing gaps in abilities, skills, and knowledge of the workers who have been laid off, we can identify target occupations for training investment and counsel individuals on recommended career paths. We have been using a tool called TORQ, which stands for Transferable Occupational Readiness Quotient, and it measures transferability of workers between occupations based on the workforce competencies required for the job. In other words, it measures the degree of compatibility between any two occupations. It has been very useful in developing customized training programs for displaced workers by honing on specific knowledge and skill gaps. ONET is a very powerful database with a lot of useful information, and TORQ allows us to quickly manipulate the attributes associated with more than 800 different occupations in order to produce intelligent workforce transition strategies.
So, Hope, can you give us a little bit more detail about the features and benefits of TORQ?
TORQ measures the transferability of workers among and between different occupations by analyzing ONET descriptors of those occupations, such as abilities, skills, and knowledge attributes. TORQ provides a numeric value between 0 and 100, measuring the transferability of workers from one occupation to another. The higher the TORQ score, the higher the degree of transferability. It also provides filters for occupations based on projected growth in wages associated with each occupation.
So, Hope, can you give us a success story of how TORQ is being used in Indiana?
In Indiana, we have a major hot jobs listing for the state as a whole and for each of the regions within the state. and we identified hot jobs for the northern Indiana region, and we did an analysis comparing the affected occupations in the RV industry and the Who's Your Hot Job listing for that region. And we were able to use ONET and Torque to identify potential career paths for those individuals that were laid off into some of the Who's Your Hot 50 jobs. And one example that we looked at was transferability of a team assembler to a dental hygienist in the healthcare field. And what we found was that with minimal training investment, that was a viable career path option. Now, we had not thought of dental hygienists before as being a target occupation because intuitively, team assembler seems very different from a dental hygienist, but if you analyze the specific skills required for a team assembler and for a dental hygienist, there's a lot of overlap in some of the skills and abilities needed, such as manipulating objects and machinery. One would not automatically make the connection between the kinds of tasks that a team assembler does and the kinds of tasks that a dental hygienist does. But when we did the analysis looking at the skill gaps, we realized that this was a viable career path with some training investment in a dental hygienist program.
That is a great example, and one, like you said, we would hardly ever think of, but it's one that we could really utilize anywhere. Dental hygienists are everywhere, and anywhere assemblers are losing their jobs. That might be a viable alternative. So thanks. It sounds like Torque really takes that part of ONET, the related occupations, and takes it much further than it goes in ONET, and then brings it to a local or regional level. All right, great, Hope. I sure appreciate all this wonderful information about ONET and about Torque. If you'd like to know more about how Torque is being used in Indiana and other innovative skills and transfer strategies featuring ONET, just navigate to www.onetacademy.com. Again, Hope, thanks for joining me today.